All right, everybody, welcome in another edition of the Schmolke Investment Team LSU football practice reports, day number 2, 3 periods on a Thursday morning. We didn't get to stay the rest of the way. Cameras down, and we were hitting the doors off tomorrow, and then we'll be back out here for a full one on Saturday. But your thoughts, buddy?
Good morning, everybody. We've got a little quickie update for you. As we were in there for about 15 minutes, we did see some special teams action. And I've had this fear about the fact, and most of you should know this, you have a new punter, you have a new snapper, you have a new holder. Everybody's going to want that to be perfect against Clemson, and so they're working on that. We saw a little bit of that. Jonathan Ferguson, number 49, he's been around 4 or 5 years. Everything we saw from the snap been good. Damian Ramos did miss a few field goals, about a 34-yarder and a 48-yarder, but I don't think there's any concern there. It's early on. Obviously, Aaron Burrell is the kickoff man. He nailed a 48-yarder. Mike, we've been saying this. You have anything 49 to 55, Aaron Burrell might get a look-see. Silas Hall is a freshman kid from Episcopal that is the backup snapper. And on the holders, you've got Grant Chadwick, who is the punter, and, of course, Badger Hargett, who is the backup punter. So give you a little special teams right out of the gate. We didn't see any punt returns or kickoff returns. We'll give you that after Saturday. But on this special Thursday morning, having fun with my cohort, Mike Scarborough. We hope everybody is waiting anxiously as we are now sitting at 30 days away from the kickoff at Clemson.
Absolutely. Again, 3 periods. I tried to focus a lot of my shooting on defense, so you're going to see a little bit more defense than you did yesterday. But because it was in the indoor facility, once it started to get a little bit repetitive on some of the drills that they were doing, what they were allowing us to see today, I switched over to the offense at the end. I'm really liking that running back group, buddy. It's I think Frank Wilson's got so much to work with. And we still have the debate over and over again. You start talking about which true freshman can have an impact, and it's really, is it 2? Is it 3 tops? It's going to be very hard for true freshmen to do anything other than special teams. Of course, Harlan Berry is typically the first one you mentioned. Pickett's going to be probably your second guy. But, how much do you see Harlan Berry early in the season is a big question. I have my doubts about week 1.
Yeah, well, that's going to evolve in here in the next couple of weeks. Of course, look, this is the easy time. The reason they went an hour yesterday is that they want to let everybody get acclimated to the heat, the humidity, back in the grind of work. And this is the easy stuff. When you get into those full pads in another week and you're grinding out here in this heat for 2 hours, then you're going to build some toughness and character. I will say this, noticed Aaron Anderson yesterday, not gimpy, but you could tell. I think it's a hammy, and so when we had BK, he mentioned, look, we know what Aaron Anderson can do. I like this, Mike. If you know what a guy can do, you don't need to put him out here and injure him before the season. There's been other coaches that have done that, and it's been a real major faux pas. But look, folks, same offensive line, Braylon Moore at center. Obviously, DJ Chester. Do you think DJ Chester starts at left guard and Braylon Moore at center? I know it's early to ask starting questions, but I think the way I'm looking at it, of course, everybody knows Tyree Adams at left tackle, and then Josh Thompson and Weston Davis on the right side. But do you think Chester stays at guard? He might,
but is it the left or the right? I still think there might be some more combinations we see between now and game week 1. But to me, I think it's hard to keep Chester off the field. I want to see more of Josh Thompson and see if that was just an anomaly yesterday. Of course, he wasn't here in January like everybody else. But look, he's a veteran. I'm not ready to say what we saw yesterday was the end-all, be-all for him.
Yeah, back to the wide receivers. So we didn't see Aaron Anderson in the limited time that we had, but he's okay. He's fine. He's a big-time playmaker. Everybody knows. Man, Destin Hill, I'm watching him again. He's catching everything. Barry and Brown, you're going to see a lot of number 6. I think that they have come to the realization that with his speed, and this is what we talk about, folks, with difference makers, whether it's a running back or wide receiver, you got to have people that take it to the house and bust it for 60 yards for a touchdown. LSU hadn't really had that in the last 4 or 5 years since Clyde Edwards-Helaire, since 19. And so, but the wide receiving group, one sits down, the other comes in. Nick Anderson was back out. Oh, by the way, he didn't have a concussion. Some people misconstrued this. There was not a concussion because of football. It was because of the traffic incident. I saw him. He's still not 100%. But look, Xavier Thomas, Chris Hilton, Barry and Brown, Kyle Parker, Jelani Watkins getting more reps, so plenty of wide receivers. You mentioned the running backs. Offensive line still same, 2 deep. Of course, Mubinga is at left guard, Akarius Kearns at left tackle. You mentioned the true freshman. I think Akarius Kearns is going to play this year. Don't know if it'll be week 3, week 5, week 2, whatever. But he's one of those true freshmen that could certainly be in the mix. Bo Bordelon winning the Iron Man Award. He's the backup at right tackle. And, of course, Cohen Eccles, a redshirt freshman that can play center but has been at right guard. And so shuffling around, saw little special teams. But I'm still amazed, Mike, and I know it's against our air, and everybody needs to understand that. Perfect conditions, no wind, no heat, whatever. But they're pitching and catching like Jay Johnson and LSU baseball did at the end of the season. They are throwing the football well and catching it. I'm not seeing many drops. Oh, by the way, Mike's favorite player on offense, Bauer Sharp, he's going to be your starting tight end the night of Clemson. I can say that sure. They need a blocking tight end. This guy can do both. Trey'Dez Green on the outside looking in. But if they use him as a receiver, it works out.
I tell you what, look, it talks one thing, and look, to me, there's it's so obvious. I mean, they are determined to have a fantastic running game. And look, that's why I bring Coach Atkins in from Florida State. You divvy up run blocking versus pass blocking, the things that we're seeing with the running backs. If they don't have a running game that's notable in the top half, top third of the SEC this year, to me, that'll be a disappointment. Of course, look, if you're enjoying this practice report, please hit the like button. And we're brought to you by 2 of the finest financial advisors out there, Bart Schmolke and his son Brian Schmolke at the Schmolke Investment Team. Are you ready to take control of your financial future? Time is running out with market fluctuations and economic uncertainty. Now is the moment to act. Don't let another day pass without a solid financial plan in place. At the Schmolke Investment Team, their experienced financial advisors are there to help you navigate these challenging times. From retirement planning to investment strategies, they provide personalized strategies tailored to your needs. Don't wait until it's too late. Give them a call, 318-448-3201, or visit www.smolketeam.com, or go by their office at 128 Versailles Boulevard in Alexandria. Your financial future depends on decisions you make today. Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA/SIPC. All investing involves risks, including loss of principal. No strategy assures success or protects against loss. And I also want to add, Bart has a great LSU show, Tiger Talk, that's going to start mid-month on KZMZ in Alexandria. You can hear that all through Central Louisiana. That's on from 4 to 6 in Alexandria. Great show. I'm typically on at about 5:40 to 6 o'clock. And big LSU people. That's why you want to do business with them. Really smart, and will take care of your money and help you earn a bright future.
Yes, today a perfect example why you need Bart and Brian, folks. Jerome, too late Powell, every time he talks, the market goes red. And, of course, he did that again yesterday, but it's back streaming green and big today. This is why you have to have guys like Bart and Brian. You get up and you're all upset, and they calm you down, say it's going to be all right. We got record highs on the S&P and all the others. So great to do business and have those guys comfort you and guide you through crazy landscape, especially with all the tariffs and all the stuff going on. Of course, the deadline for some of those tariffs is tomorrow on the August 1. We'll get into a lot of all of that if you call Bart and Brian. Back to that defense. I want to see what you saw through the lens, because, folks, look, I'm not telling you it's going to be the greatest defensive line ever, but I am telling you they're bigger, they're stronger, and when you take into consideration Jack Pyburn, Gabriel Relaford, Dominic McKinley, Sadir Mitchell, all these guys are going to play with a chip on their shoulder and a bad mood. You mentioned it on the show last night. Kyle Williams is looking like a better hire every day, I think.
Oh, absolutely. I enjoy watching him coach today. I think, we're, I don't know, what would that be? More than a couple of stories, almost 3 stories up. And I think my microphone picked up some of what he was saying. He was basically telling about getting back and not encroaching on the ball when lined up, and was getting after him pretty hard on that. And this is absolutely the best defensive line as a whole. When I say defensive line, I'm not just talking about interior. I'm talking about your edge rushers, your defensive ends. This is the best one since BK's been here. Got depth, and knock on wood, they stay healthy. I think that's going to really – I think that's going to be very important, and I think it's going to help those cornerbacks as well. They're going to get a lot of edge rush, Pyburn and that whole crew. Relaford, man, his quickness looks off the chain so far, what we've seen, and they've got a lot more there. So.
Yeah, Ahmad Bro, I didn't mention him. Once again, he changed to 16. If you're looking for a D tackle on the tape, he's wearing 16 from 93. Bernard Gooden, quick first step. And look, Patrick Payton and Jamari Butler are going to be on the field on third downs. Now, I don't know what the cheetah package will look like right now, but they're going to have some serious speed going after the quarterback. I didn't get a chance to see much of the linebackers today, but you got to be excited about the fact that Perkins and Whit Weeks are going to be on the field at the same time. Is Devon Keys going to push Wes Weeks? And I'll tell you, one of the things I did after watching your film and looking at the stats, I think they need another corner. Would not shock me if they cross-trained Javian Toviano. He played corner as a first-year freshman. He's not the fastest guy, but there's so many safeties with Halsey and all the other guys. You're really not that big at corner. Monsieur Delane, obviously, Ashton Stamps, the 2 starters right now. DJ Pickett's going to play, whether he's in the slot or on third downs. Obviously, the little 2 guys, 11 and 21, P.J. Woodland. And don't forget about Jakeem Jackson. But you could use another. Corey likes those big corners. Wouldn't surprise me to see Toviano get a little corner action. Of course, Michael Turner also in there. But look, it's early, and I guess the 3 or 4 things that we're telling you to focus in on is, A, are you going to be able to block and open up and have a creative run game? B, will you give Nuss time to throw the football? And is he going to have that pocket presence to realize there's a gap? I'm back here, there's a gap, and he runs for the first down on the defensive side. Can you put pressure from the front 4? Are you going to have more INTs? I know they're going to stress this, Mike. They had 6 freaking interceptions last year. A.J. Halsey, playing at Houston, had 5 himself. So got to have more takeaways and better on the turnover ratio. And then, of course, special teams. I think that one of the things that Tiger fans are going to be looking for in that first game, you don't forget the Florida State faux pas on all special teams. Special teams and tackling are the 2 biggest things you worry about in the first game. And I like what I saw. Of course, it's inside and it's against air, but it looks like they're organized and ready to go.
Watch a little bit of Colin Hurley today. I do like the way he's throwing the football. He looks leaner. Growing into his body. Look, we know he came here a year early, a youngster, and he's starting to look the part. And I want to see more of him. I think there's a reason to maybe get a little bit more excited than I think a lot of people have been for Colin Hurley.
Yeah, no doubt about it. He's pushing Michael Van Buren as the backup, and you don't want to see those guys play a lot. Jawan Johnson is going to get some reps. At what point in the season, we don't know. But
I laugh. He's the only one that doesn't wear a red jersey.
Exactly. So he's going to run some run-pass option for you. And now don't forget, we're not going to be able to post this until noon today because we can't post until they are finished practicing. We won't have availability tomorrow, but on Saturday we get another big day, and we'll continue to give you tidbits. Look, me and you don't talk before we do these things because we're up there writing all our stuff down. But I got to ask you, Mr. Mike, do you have a little bit more positive karma going into, and I know it's early, but I'm just saying, buddy, do you feel better about the prospects of LSU football this year?
I think this is BK's best team, period.
No doubt.
But
the schedule.
Yeah.
I'm
very positive about this football team. I'm telling you, they beat Clemson, and I'm coming in the post game and talking 11-1 or 10-2.
By the way, man, the spicy tidbits, if you go into Clemson, bring some sausage and boudin. That will make them like you right out of the gate. Man, the tidbits is that they're bigger, they're stronger, they're faster, they've got more depth. But once again, if you see these reports all throughout the country, injuries are going to happen. And so I like the fact that if somebody's nursing a hammy or an ankle or whatever, they're sitting them down. But we feel like if they stay injury-free, that's going to be a heck of a matchup. And, of course, as we said, 37 days from today, you'll be in this parking lot tailgating for the opening LSU home game.
Who do you think is with all these new faces on the offensive line, who would you say is likely to emerge as the team, is that group's leader?
That's a good question. Because DJ Chester played, but he's a sophomore. Braylon Moore is a junior.
And typically transfers don't want to come in and throw their weight around.
But Jack Pryman certainly did.
Right.
And so, that's a great question right now. Who's going to be – I'll tell you who's the leader on offense, and it's number 13, Garrett Nussmeier. This is his football team. Everybody respects him. He does the right things on and off the field. But in the offensive line, you just hit on a great point. Braylon Moore and those guys have got to communicate and be on the same
who's
page.
the real vocal guy? I mean, is it a Weston Davis? I mean, who's somebody that's and to me, it's almost got to, if it's not one of the transfers like a Braylon Moore because they're older and been starters. Is it a sophomore?
Well, we'll ask that question to Nuss and those guys when we have player availability. Player interviews are going to be on Saturday, folks.
Absolutely, and we'll be there for that one. We also have our practice footage up from today. If you missed our show last night, Buddy and I had a great one. That's both here on our YouTube channel and on our Facebook channel. We're loading up everything to both places, and a lot more recruiting is being posted for free on our Facebook page. Be sure to check that out. So if you enjoyed this practice report, please hit the like button. Anything you want to add on the way out?
Just enjoy your afternoon. Once again, no availability on Friday. And look, we try to give you little tidbits that make it interesting. And we tell you that we're not going to lie to you. We're going to be objective. My glass is probably a little more half full than Mike's, but I think as we come along, that build up, look, let's just get it out. This is the biggest game for Brian Kelly and the LSU tenure. Everybody knows the magnitude and the implications of what that game is. I like the fact I had somebody visited on a recruit visit yesterday, academically, not athletic. And they've got big signs 1-0 all over. They've got Clemson paws all over. So hold out hope that they're going to put this together and break the string of 5 consecutive losses with the opening games. But Clemson, this is the toughest one, Mike. This is a true road game, and they're going to be lit up and fired up, ready to go on the night of August 30th.
Absolutely, and it seems like every time there is a true home-and-home series, LSU gives the game one to the opposing team.
Does seem that
I
way.
think we'd be talking a whole lot differently if that scheduling was flipped. But that's the way it works out. All right, everybody, thanks for tuning in. Hit that like button.
Stay hydrated.
Yeah, stay hydrated.
It's still hot. See you on Saturday, everybody.
All right, y'all have a good day.